Bonjour and welcome to Tarmac. I'm Dave.
And I'm Harry. And today we have the Mercedes-AMG C63 S.
That's right, it's a performance C-Class that's got less CCs, but more power, and it's also electrified. Come, let's take a look at this. Now, the AMG C63 came into existence in 2008, and it was back then when all the numbers meant something. So the 63 was actually meant 6.2 litre, and it was a V8, and I guess all was well with the world. I don't know who was president, but there you go. And since then, the AMG 63 has gone down in CCs, because actually back then it was something like 320 kilowatts of power, but then they've moved it to a twin turboed 4 litre that had 370 kilowatts of power, and also it's gone through a few generational changes and facelift changes and stuff like that. Anyway, this new one has decided to drop so many cylinders, so it's now not a V8, it's a 4-cylinder, and it's the same sort of 4-cylinder that's been in the A-Class, which was the most powerful 4-cylinder on the planet, and now they've made it even more powerful. So they've given it 500 kilowatts of power and also 1,020 Newton meters of torque. It's also electric, as I said, so it's a PHEV, so you can actually get some electric, I don't know, guilt-free kilometers in, well, actually up to 15 of them, with a 6.1 kilowatt hour battery. There you go, that's an opening.
It really is. And the C63 is now basically a car that has kept up with the times, right? So as you said, back in the V8 days, it was the pure representation of a luxury sedan with a big engine up front. But as all things were evolving with emission rules and all of that, the C63 had to try and find ways to stay relevant and still able to be sold. So yes, the 63 in its name means nothing now that we are dealing with a 2-liter 4-cylinder. But the crazy thing is that this car does not perform like a 4-cylinder at all. You would never expect this level of performance from a car with a 2-liter engine.
Yeah, well, actually, you're right. We'll get to the performance in a moment, because firstly, let's get to the looks and all that sort of stuff. Because this may be a C-Class and it may be a new C-Class, but underneath it all, the wheelbase has changed. It's 10 millimeters longer, and also the width is now overall 72 or 76 millimeters wider, and a lot of that is over on the front axle. So you've actually got a car with a footprint that is just so stoic and ready to take on the world. It's also all-wheel drive.
Yeah, so yeah, on the looks department, it definitely has that blend that Mercedes-Benz has always been very good at bringing to the market, which is something that still manages to fly under the radar, and those in the know will know that it is the special version. And especially in a darker color like this, you have to be looking at brake calipers or the carbon bits that are on the outside to know that this is something really special.
Oh, and also, well, you've got the AMG grille up front, so you've got your Panamericana grille, and also now it comes with an air vent. It's so good. It's such a good-looking air vent, and I think all cars should have an air vent, in all honesty, because they're just something about them.
Yeah, you can absolutely see all the bits that they had to put in there to address the cooling needs of such a complex and powerful engine. So there is that cool hood vent that you can spot from here, and then all the radiators and even the active flaps up front. And after you go for a little bit of a longer drive and then you stop the car, you can feel all the heat coming out of it, so you know that you are dealing with a very hot and very capable powertrain.
Yeah, on all 4 corners you've got 20-inch feet, and they're AMG feet, of course, so you've got plenty of rubber to make sure it does stick to the ground. It does actually give a fair amount of road noise, so that's why there's a good Burmester stereo that you can turn up and get rid of that. And also the soundtrack.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, I was thinking that you were going to give it the beans so that we could hear a little bit about it. Yeah, it's very good. And then there is also the ways in which you can pump up a little bit more of the noise that you want to bring into the cabin. And while it might sound like what we would come to expect from a 4-cylinder, as you can probably pick up from now, it still adds up to the experience by quite a lot, especially when you get the very abrupt sounds on the gear changes.
Sorry, just having too much fun in the corners.
It has too much front grip, so it's really easy to build up your confidence, because of course the all-wheel drive will help you carve through these corners, as we are doing right now. It is impressive.
It is very impressive, and you've got these, obviously you've got all the different drive modes, including race, which it just gives you all that exhaust feedback, and just the turbo burble and rattle and stuff like that. It's just tremendous.
Yeah, and speaking of the turbo, when you pop the hood, you can see how big of a unit this is, because of course you will not be making this level of power without a big turbo and an engine like this. Woo! But of course it is laggy, and then in order to accommodate for all of this lag, that's where the electrification comes into place, and it basically eliminates the lag. And when you put that in combination with the all-wheel drive, this is why this car is a rocket from at standstill. It is unbelievable.
Yeah, 0 to 100, 3.3 seconds in a car that's a 4-cylinder. And it's a car that's got an engine that would be in your, I don't know, your shopping cart. This is no shopping cart though, that's
delivering for sure. V12 levels of performance of just a few years ago. It's crazy. With 5 seats and a lot of space, frontwards, backwards, it's really good.
New Zealand have put carbon packs on it as well, so you've got like a slither of carbon on the boot spoiler. You've got little touches, little wings and little aerodynamics all over the front scoops, and all. Like, if you start looking around, you've got some beautiful artistry, as I would call it, around. And then you step on the inside where the seats are amazing. They're so figure hugging, and I've got a lot of figure to hug, I'm telling you.
Yeah, the seats have always been in the special part of the C63 of the past, and this is no exception. The design is amazing, and then of course it will be a little bit harder for you to get in and out because of the tall bolsters on the side, but once you're in, you can really accommodate it for all different shapes. Thigh extensions were really welcome for me, but then you can also change how much they are hugging you, and there's also even a kinetic sort of tentative massage feature, which is good for the longer drives. So yeah, it's got it all.
I just want to demonstrate this. All-wheel steer as well. So around tighter corners when you just want to, or around town when you need to get in and out of those little tight spots, it's got the wheels that turn opposing, so therefore you get a really tight turning lock or turning circle, and then you've got when they go opposite ways or something, anyway, show you a diagram if I can, that then when you're going fast speeds it would just stick to the road and also pulls away quickly.
It's so rapid.
The tech itself is amazing. You would have seen this had you been stepped in any new modern C-Class or AMG. Now this one's dual screen, so rather than a hyper screen, it's got two screens, two separate screens with your infotainment, which has got virtually everything you can think of. Then you've got a major head-up display and also your instrumentation screen that can be adjusted and changed to suit whatever you want. It's even got an efficiency meter that you are never going to use in this car because I don't know what the efficiency is. I'll see if I can plug it up, but it's not the thing you're going to worry about when you're in this car.
Not at all. It doesn't even have an eco mode that I could find. It's all from comfort to then sport and sport plus, and they are the best ones to be used, of course. And yeah, I absolutely agree on the tech department. I think that out of the pretty much all modern Mercedes that we have tried, this to me is still the best implementation. It is not overwhelming with all the screens and everything. You stick to the actual screen in the middle for air conditioning and a little bit of entertainment, and then you have heaps of customization in the screen in front of you and the heads-up display. It's really good. It's really responsive. Yeah, I think it's my favorite from the Mercedes lineup.
And the head-up display is massive. I'm looking at the rev counter at the moment, and it's huge. It takes up most of the skyline, and it's great. You've got also virtual reality on your navigation. You've got literally everything you can think of in a modern car, and also that power. Oh, it's it just drags you or sucks you in and just makes you want to just keep pushing that throttle pedal.
I love that it was probably more successful than the previous gens at being this Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing, where if you push it, it'll still deliver with heaps of performance and some kind of very interesting engagement through these gear shifts and how much grip there is. But if you flick it to comfort or maybe even EV mode, which is something that you would never have expected from a C63, it manages to just be a little bit more wafty and comfortable and so quiet, and then you get to crank up the Burmeister sound, which is awesome, and you definitely need that option. So it really brings this balance that the sort of more dragster-like Cs of the past didn't have.
And also it's very sporty in its refinements as well, or your touches. So your steering wheel has got carbon fiber and Alcantara, and there's just everything seems to be, it's a sort of car you want to just stroke and touch, and maybe I need to get out a little bit more often, but it's just dials to turn and I don't know, just stuff to interact with. And also you've got your I won't say the brand, because that does all stuff for you as well. So it's just an all-round great car that goes like stink. So the big elephant in the room, I'm not talking about me, is the fact of it not being a V8 or a 6.2 or anything that resembles anything to do with a C63. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think that it definitely loses a little bit on the sort of the feedback that you get, because it now sounds like most other four-cylinder cars that you would get in the market. But again, what really resonates with me is this disconnection between this sound that you get from a four-cylinder with the performance that just doesn't match it. It is so fast and so capable. So yes, it managed to still sort of meet the requirements that the world now has for cars like these, while still even bringing more performance, more power to the table. So it might be able to address the needs of those that want a more eco-friendly and more green car, but also deliver whenever you need. So yeah.
On the delivery, well, actually two things. One is that sound is actually amplified exhaust, so it is sort of slightly manufactured but not overly manufactured, so it does sound quite natural. And the other thing is, if you're indecisive with your right foot, this is something we've both found. If you're indecisive as to, particularly at low revs or low speeds, if you don't quite know what you're doing, it does fidget around between whether you want electric power or the turbo's not quite spooled or something. It is a bit fidgety at those levels. And also the braking system is quite EV-ish, if that makes sense. It's slightly spongy, although it does pull it up really well, but it's just slightly unnatural in the braking department as well.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. So much so that there isn't a specific screen where you can see, according to your foot, how much percentage you're giving to the brake pedal, and then it's really easy to sort of feel that it has all the performance you could ask for. You just need to look at those rotors and calipers. They're massive, but it feels very spongy. So at certain points of the travel, it lacks that sort of instant response that you would expect, especially if you are not having regen happening through the EV, if you're giving it a little bit more of a push.
But oddly, the regen, being such a small battery, it does regen very quickly. And what that means is all of the power and all of the force and all of the thrust is there all the time. And you can put that power, or actually plug it in when you get at home and get the full 15 kilometers of range as well. But the car will do it all for you, because that's what Mercedes does. So there you have it, the new AMG or Mercedes-AMG C63 S. No, the names or numbers don't make any don't make any sense anymore. And actually, probably this vehicle doesn't make any sense anymore, but damn, it's good. It's fast. It's the fastest, the most powerful that it's ever been, and probably in terms of CC, the lightest it's ever been as well. It's not actually the lightest in vehicle weight, but there you go. It is phenomenal. It's everything you'd want from an AMG without a V8 engine. And I know the naysayers are going to, oh, it's not a V8, but drive this thing. It's phenomenal. It's also luxurious and very clever and all that sort of stuff. But it's a great fun car. Honestly, my cheeks haven't stopped aching. Anyway, what do you think?
Very same for me. Yeah, it's been green from beginning to end, and yeah, just go and drive the car. It definitely is an exercise at seeing what could be done if you were to throw everything at your disposal at a compact sedan. It has the performance, it has the electrification, all the tech, it looks amazing. So yeah, just go and try it out.
And get this smile. Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. See ya.